you need true partnerships in order to be able to bring the right resources, perspectives, and ultimately to be able to braid together different orientations, different preferences, different sort of what we're looking for and what we think about as successful. Maybe, can you talk a little bit about how this type of financing supports and advocates for those kinds of partnerships?
Yes, absolutely. So let's just start with the basics. Partnerships are what makes these work. This is not something you're going to solve in the conference room with your own team, which is also what makes it fun and which also makes it challenging. We typically at Quantified Ventures, we lean into puzzles that require the public sector to bring what they're super duper great at and perhaps leave behind what they're less good at. Similarly, we like to work with the private sector. Bring what you're super duper good at, maybe perhaps leave behind what you're less super duper good at. And then the same with the NGO nonprofit community. So we like to work on puzzles that require all three sectors to bring what they're great at. It also requires that everyone leave something at home, right? And so sorting out who's best to actually solve what and is the work, that's the methodology, that's the thing that we are good at. But it requires best-in-class partners, right? Because there's a humanity of it all, right? You're right, I'm not super great at that. Like that has to happen in a conference room with bad sandwiches in front of other people, right? And but it is moving through that process. And in order to start that process, the gating issue is, do you have a willingness and an eagerness to solve the problem in a different way? Yep. And it won't happen in one meeting, one bad sandwich. It won't happen in 2 meetings, 2 bad sandwiches. It's a journey, and it's a lot of 2 steps forward, 1 step back, 2 steps forward, 1 step back. And that's been our journey together. But you can see month after month directional progress. The teams can see that. We all know where we're aiming for. And what's interesting, going back to just the simple example we used in Kentucky of our work together, with that model in place, it's not only scalable to other states for that particular family-focused recovery delivery model, it's scalable because you can just layer on the next service on top of that, and the next one, and the next one, and the next one. The common thread through all those is there just needs to be just enough unit economics to buy a couple more number 2 pencils and move on and do it each year. And once that model is in place, you can layer in other services on top of that within each state. That feels exciting.
It sure does.